Hello, and welcome to another video here with Fly the Noob. In this video, we're going to be taking the 787-9, and we're going to be taking it from Frankfurt in Germany all the way to Cape Town in Johannesburg. Okay, so this is a real-world flight. It's actually operated by Lufthansa. So we'll go ahead and fly this little flight now. I was supposed to perform a live flying the 787-9 in 2024 from Atlanta back into Orlando. Unfortunately, the Horizon 787-9 does not work for me in 2024, and this is why I had to make a slight change of plans here. So instead, I'm going to be putting out this video where we take the 787-9 from Frankfurt all the way to Cape Town. Look at that, Frankfurt, Maine. Okay, interesting. All right, so let's just take a quick look around the airport where we are currently in Frankfurt. It's a handcrafted airport in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and 2024. I've flown into here in 2024. I'm not entirely sure about 2020, but today we'll be flying out of here in 2020. And as you can see, it looks quite good. Not too bad at all. Plenty of traffic. Looks really good. City of Frankfurt looks great in the distance in 2020. Much better than it does in 2024. So that's nice to see. And really cool here. So yeah, let's take a quick look around our aircraft before we continue this flight. And let me just double check the weather. Oh, let's go real time. Live weather. Okay. So let's turn those two on right now. We've done that. We've got live weather and real time going on. Just confirming that right there. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, brilliant. Let's take a quick look around our aircraft. Absolutely lovely 787-9. It's a very beautiful aircraft. And yeah, cool. Okay, just a quick look outside before we head on into our cockpit and get ourselves started up. We've got the jetway already attached here. So yeah, without further delay, let's hop on inside. There we go. Cold and dark here in the cockpit. We've got ground power available to us. So let's go ahead and get ourselves started up today without further delay here. So batteries on. External power on. We can turn on the window heats there. IRS can begin aligning itself. That is great. Emergency lights, they're already armed. That's good. Anything else? Packs are off for the time being. Okay, we'll turn that on once we've got AP going, once we begin boarding our passengers today. Passenger signs for the time being, I'm going to put them on. Nav lights on, please. Yep, that all looks good. I think that's all we got to do up here. Brilliant. Okay, looks good. Let's come down here to our FMC, or rather the CDU, however you want to call it. We are going to go ahead and put in our reference airport, which is EDDF Frankfurt. There we go. GPS positions right there, and we've got our IRS aligned. Good. Route for the day is from EDDF. We're heading on over to Cape Town, which is FACT, Cape Town International. So yeah, runway, before we put all of that, flight number for today. Let's check out the flight number for this particular flight. I believe it is LH576. Sorry, it's supposed to be just LH576. Okay, my bad. So the flight number is just LH576 right there. LH576 is supposed to be the flight number. So yeah, I think got a little bit of an issue there, but not too terrible. Flight number is LH, not DLH. Okay, so I just want to quickly change that on SimBrief as well. Oh, I have, it is the correct number anyway. Great, now let's go ahead and request our route. Okay, still waiting on that route request. Nothing is happening here. Let's try that again. Route requesting, sent. Okay. I don't know why we're not getting our route here. Okay, there we go. Great. Great. Load. Okay, execute. Brilliant. We'll worry about any issues as we carry on with our setup here. Runway is 18 today, so we can execute that. Brilliant. Let's go to departures and arrival. Runway 18, and we're going to use the ANAC 2L. Departure out of EDDF, we can execute that. Arrival into Cape Town is going to be on runway 01, and we're going to use the ILS today. ASPI 1 Alpha, there we go. Let's go ahead and execute that as well. Execute, there we go. Brilliant. Let's go towards legs, see if everything is... This is a very long route, obviously. It's an 11-hour flight. If I'm not completely mistaken, it's about 11 hours. So yeah, it is a pretty long flight. Its airtime is 10 hours and 43 minutes. So yeah, 11-hour flight. All right, let's go towards our performance for today. But before we do, let's go to settings, weight and balance. We're going to set this from our operational flight plan. Standing by and completed right there. So we're carrying 335 passengers today, 24,195 pounds of cargo, and zero fuel weight of 371,037, fuel of 154,000 pounds of fuel. Okay, that is all looking good. Great. Now we can go to our performance here. Zero fuel weight, we can pick that up from the scratch pad. Reserves for today, we're gonna have to look at reserves 4.7 more or less. 4.7 is going to be our reserves. Cost index today, we can use cost index 40 if we like. Although SimBrief suggests 77, I'm going to go with cost index of 40. Let's go with 50. Let's go with 50, shall we? All right, that's fine. What else? What else do we need here? We should go to our thrust limit. Let's see. I'm going to use the SimBrief performance calculator rather than the one that's built into the aircraft. There is a performance calculator right here that we could use. We could compare the two if we like. The SimBrief one tends to be more accurate in my experience. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that one. Okay, let's see. Temperature assumed is 38. Okay. And we are going to use derated thrust. So we are going to use that right there. So we will be using some derating of the thrust there. That is fine. 38 degrees, fine. That's good. Flaps of 5 today. CG takeoff gross weight estimated at 524.5. Okay. So 524.5 estimated. 0.5 there. Going to put that in. Center of gravity is supposed to be 7. And we've got 164, 169, 174. That is quite close to what I can see on the SimBrief calculation. So I'm just going to leave it exactly the way it is. Just gonna leave it exactly the way it is. All right, so we can just set the trim now. Trim at 7. Okay, we need the trim to be at 7. We can observe the trim here as I adjust it. So let's go ahead and set our trim to 7. Trim 7. Set. Perfect. All that is done, and it tells us that pre-flight complete with the FMC. That means we are ready to get on out of here. Let's go to our checklist. Pre-flight is done. That is good, and we've got some stuff to do here. Now before we do, we can go ahead and request boarding from GSX. GSX, please give us some boarding here. There we go. Cargo loaders coming up, which is always nice to see. I believe passenger boarding will begin, and luckily maybe we'll be able to catch them in the glass jetway here. I'm really looking forward to that. I like watching the passengers board through the glass jetway. Really fun. No pushback tug at the moment. Okay, great. Local pressure today, we're just going to press B for that. 30.00, that is fine. We're going to turn on the FD, the auto throttles. Climb out speed today, I'm going to go towards 174, if I'm not wrong, was the V2. Let me just ask for 194 as we climb out. Cruising altitude today is supposed to be, it simply says 33,000, but I know we can climb up in steps all the way to around 40,000 feet at UNSEX. We should be able to do that. So yeah, let me check where exactly UNSEX comes about. If we go through here for the waypoint UNSEX, if I can find it. There it is. By the time we reach UNSEX, we should be at 41,000. As you can see, we've got plenty of that going on today. But for the time being, we're just going to keep 10,000 feet first, and then we'll climb out slowly as we burn more and more fuel along the way. Brilliant, that sounds good to me. Okay, VNAV, LNAV can be engaged there, not a problem. If we look at our jetway there, we can see our passengers loading, and there's somebody floating from the top as well. I don't know why that's happening. That doesn't make any sense. Got a bunch of people floating from right there, and then we also have people coming in from there. That doesn't make... What? There are also people floating on top of the terminal buildings as well. Oh, good lord. Okay. That doesn't make much sense, but we're going to ignore that, and we're just going to focus on this. Anyway, while that happens, while that is happening, let's see if there's anything else we need to set up here. Since passengers are loading, we can go ahead and turn on our APU here. I'm going to leave the packs on as well, so we can get that started up. Passenger signs are on. Great, we can tick that. MCP is done, apart from the heading, which we haven't set up just yet. Heading, we'll set it, we'll leave it there roughly on runway heading for the time being. Takeoff speeds are done. CDU pre-flight is done. Taxi, and that is done. So before start is all that's remaining. Let's check on our APU there. APU coming to life. Brilliant. That is great. Okay. Everything here looking good. We don't need to actually use the performance calculator anymore, so I'm just going to put that away. And yeah, we're just going to wait for this weird boarding process to finish. Wait for the passengers to stop floating. And once it's all done, we will get back into the cockpit and carry on with what we with pushback and engine start. Okay. Okay, we're back in the cockpit. It seems like we are done with the boarding process here. Let's go to GSX and prepare for pushback and departure. Okay, let's do that. There we go. It should detach the gates. There we go. Really cool. Hello there. Very well. Beacon lights can come on here. Fuel pumps can go on, all that stuff. Beacon lights on. Switch all of that to automatic there. Fuel pumps on. And we're gonna turn our nose to the left here during pushback. Is there anything else here that we need to take care of? No, that's fine. Is there anything else here we're missing? Don't think so. Okay, still waiting for the pushback tug to get attached here. That hasn't happened just yet. There it is. Okay. Nose is being raised here. Runway 18. Okay, nose to the left, thank you. Parking brakes released. All right. Brilliant. Can go ahead and start our engines. Oh, there's a little glitch there, but anyway, can go ahead and start our engines. There we go. Let's do that, shall we? Right engine on, please. Auto start, correct. Okay. Oil pressure, oil temperature, we gotta watch that for a second. I don't mind the startup sounds here in this aircraft, not too bad. Today we're using the General Electric GE engines. Okay, throttles are set correctly, that's good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, little set parking brakes. Let's go ahead and start up our next engine. Let's go outside and enjoy the startup sounds from outside. Nose is being lowered there. Great. We're looking all right. Engine spooling up there. Let me just go inside really quickly just to make sure everything is... Yep, that's looking good. That is looking good. I want to send the engine this side. Checklist here. Okay. All right. We are ready. We are ready to get on out of here. Before we do, let's turn off our APU here. We don't need it anymore. That's fine. Looking good. Fuel is available in the center tank, so we might need to turn those two on there. Okay, we got center pumps on there. Our guy's walking away there. That's good. Okay. What else do we need to do? Auto brake to RTO. I'm gonna put the flaps down to position number 5 right there for takeoff. We're gonna turn on our taxi light for the time being. And passenger signs are on, just confirming that, and we are ready to get on out of here. Gonna get on out of here. We need to put our anti-ice to automatic here. We'll do that. TCAS is off. We'll set that in later, and we are ready to taxi, ladies and gentlemen. So let's head on towards runway 18, if I'm not wrong. Yep, runway 18 is where we're supposed to be going. Anti-ice, recall, flight controls. We need to check the flight controls. We'll do that in a bit. Ground equipment, APU. If we come outside, we can see that our flight controls are pretty much all good. We could check this from inside the cockpit, of course, but this is also fine. There we go. We know they're working. There we go. Perfect. We know they're working. Good. Good. If you wanted to check this from the cockpit here, you could just come to systems and where's flight control there, and you'd be able to test them out from right here. There you go. If you wanted to do that, that is. You could also check out the spoilers if we wanted to, but we know they work. There we go. All good. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. With that said, let me open up the throttles a little bit and get ourselves taxiing here. We do have a heavy aircraft today, so it's going to take some power to keep it moving. Anyway, it's going to be a very, very long taxi towards runway 18, our takeoff runway. I'm not gonna make you guys sit through the entire taxi here, so I shall catch you as we line up towards runway 18 here. So yeah, I shall catch you at the end of our taxi and as we're about to line up on the runway. Great. All right. Just like that, we are holding short of the runway that we're supposed to take off from runway 18 now. Today we will have a slight tailwind component on takeoff. Simbrief has suggested runway 18. There is a tailwind component of about 3 to 2 knots that I'm expecting. Not too bad. We'll see how that goes. Let's go to our checklist now. Oh, that's after takeoff. We've got everything else completed then, I guess. Let's turn on our TCAS there. Yep, there we go. TCAS is set. Everything else is looking good. And let's turn off taxi lights, turn on strobe lights, runway turn off, landing lights, all of them on there. So there we go. That is pretty much it. Weather radar. Do we have any? If any. There we go. Weather. On this one, we'll do some terrain. So there we go. Ready to take off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's release the parking brake. With this aircraft, I still have issues with reverse thrust, but we'll worry about that as we come in towards Cape Town, which is a long, long way from here. So let's see how that goes. Okay, let's get ourselves in here. Lined up with the runway and out we go. Okay. Okay. Just gonna go ahead and press toga. Okay, we're looking all right. Just a little bit of forward pressure there. 100 knots, let go of the forward pressure. Ooh, got a long way to go on V1 and stuff. Rotating. Okay. Positive rate there. Gear up. It's a little too steep there. It's okay. There we go, leaving behind Frankfurt. Beautiful. Hand it over to the autopilot there. And wait for the speed to rise a little bit before I turn off the put up the flaps here, my bad. Let's turn off runway, turn off lights. Let's put up our flaps there. To position number 1. That's off. Everything else is looking good. Okay, climb out is looking good. Let's go to checklist. Flaps not yet fully up. Still waiting on a little bit more speed here before I want to put the flaps up. Everything else looking good. Auto brake, gears, speed brake, TCAS looking good. Up here, passenger signs are looking fine. Runway off, strobe lights on, landing lights remain on for the time being. Okay, we're just gonna wait for our transition altitude, which should come about soon. And yeah. Let's head on outside there, take a look at the views there. Beautiful. As we leave behind Frankfurt. We are looking good as we leave behind Frankfurt. Very lovely. Yep, that is looking absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Gorgeous stuff. Let's head back into the cockpit here, see what's going on. Okay, not yet ready to put my flaps up just yet. Alright, so we're about to reach 10,000 feet, and once we do, we're gonna go ahead and turn off our landing lights, remove the passenger signs, and hopefully we need to put our flaps up here. Still not yet done. There comes 10,000 feet. Let's climb directly out towards 33,000 first. And now I can put my flap up just like that. So let's go ahead and turn off our landing lights there. So put our passenger signs to automatic. And that's pretty much it, ladies and gentlemen. We are on our way to Cape Town. Okay, I believe I made a slight mistake with the transition altitude here. Yeah, I should have done that at 5,000 feet. For some reason it did not turn yellow as it usually does. So yeah. Anyway, nonetheless, we've turned our barometric pressure back down to standard and we're continuing on our climb. So yeah, just wanted to point that out, that I made a little bit of an error there. Nonetheless, we continue on our climb and yeah, enjoy the views. Alrighty, welcome back into the cockpit, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming up on top of descent here, 15 nautical miles out roughly from top of descent, and we've got the message here to Yep, to reduce our altitude here at the MCP. So let's do that. Let's see what altitude we're supposed to be going down towards. 109 nautical miles, 6,000, all the way up to... Where are we going down towards? 2,000. Yep, we're supposed to go down towards 2,000. So let's do that. And at 2,000 feet, we're expected to catch the glide slope. So we'll do it just like that, okay? There we go, brilliant. We've set that in. And yeah. Not long to go at all now. Finally, we're about to reach our top of descent. Coming up right now. We'll begin descending. See what else we need to set up around the cockpit. It is pitch dark outside. We can see some stars though. We can see kind of a little bit, not exactly a lot here, but yeah, something going on. So let's just begin our descent, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to our checklist here. Recall, auto brake, our auto brake to 2. Done. Landing reference, approach briefing is done. We'll just call it as done. For data here, we need to come here to our approach reference. We're gonna go 169 knots at 30 degrees of flaps. We're gonna do that there. There we go. That finishes that. And we need our minimums here. Minimums. Let me do 200 on radio. Just for the sake of ceremony, really. Not really using any minimums today. But still, there we go. All of that is done. Let's continue on. Next is approach. Still got some time towards approach before the actual approach starts. But yeah, we've begun our descent into Cape Town, ladies and gentlemen. After this long flight, we've finally begun our descent here. It is late evening, early night time here near Cape Town. Sure, looking good. Looking good. Alrighty. Okay, so now there isn't much to do except, you know, pretty much just leave it to descend down to around 10,000 feet. Where we'll start taking care of some things like our landing lights and passenger signs. Setting up the ILS here. As a matter of fact, we could do that right now if we wanted to. Yeah, let's do that right now, shall we? No, I'll leave that after 10,000 for now. Okay, so we're just going to continue our descent here. And I shall join you back once we're around 10,000 feet. But for now, I'm just going to continue. Let the aircraft continue its descent. All right. Okay, we're coming up on 10,000 feet here and I've got my autopilot acting a little bit funny, but I'm going to extend the speed brake here, help it slow down. There we go. Let's go ahead and turn on our landing lights. We can turn on our passenger signs. Not just that, we can go ahead and tune our ILS frequency here. So ILS today is at 11 degrees 11030. Can put back our speed brakes there. Altimeters are done. Okay, coming into our landing checklist. There we go, we got our landing lights on. That's looking very bright. Lighting is looking decent. Really cool. Oh, I don't think we've got visibility on our side, do we? We should turn on our runway turn-off lights. Why not? Okay, we got some mountains around Cape Town, so we got to be a little bit careful. We should be fine as long as we follow the altitude restrictions and anything else in the FMC, then we should be fine. For 2020, that is not too terrible at all. Look at that. If we look outside, that looks great. That looks great. Yep, it does. I was expecting it to be much, much worse. Let's find out. There's our runway 01 right there. Originally there were vectors here. We just keep flying this way till we're ready and then turn in. I've already cancelled that, and we're just going to make the turn directly. So I believe we might come in a little bit hot and high. I hope we don't. Okay, time to drop those flaps there. I'll fly on this heading for a little bit longer here, just because I want to fly a little bit longer out towards there. So you know what I'll do? I'll turn it this way. Yeah, I'll turn it this way, and then we'll make a turn slowly. There we go. So we'll turn out this way, and then we'll make a longer turn here, just so I can prepare myself a little bit better. We drop the flaps to position 10. I'm gonna get sky dolly running now. Sky dolly running. Brilliant. Everything is looking good as far as I'm concerned. Dropping further, dropping down there to position number 20. I'm gonna put down the gear. Okay, let's go ahead and put down the gear now. There we go. Putting the gear down. That looks wonderful. Let's head back into the cockpit there. Let's drop our flaps down one more. Then I'm going to turn back into this waypoint right here, 12 CTV. Could have waited to put down our gears, but I decided to do it a little early here. I've never landed into Cape Town, and decided to be a little more prepared than usual. Okay, we got localizer and glide slope, so we don't need to worry about that anymore. Let's bring our speed down here to 150. Let's see how this turns out, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. I've got runway lights in sight. That was an interesting approach right there. Nearly stuffed it up, but our reference speeds are too high. I'm gonna bring down our speed further to about 140. Yeah, I'll do 145. Why not? I'll do 145. Getting ready here to take control. Okay. All right, almost 1600 feet. Coming up on 1500. A little nervous. Yeah, let's see how it goes. Speed brakes need to be armed. Good lord, forgot about that. Checklist done. Taxi lights on in advance. Why not? There we go. My aircraft. My aircraft. Hopefully the reverse thrust is not going to screw us up completely. But my aircraft, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, hand flying it. In 2020 the glide slope usually doesn't work, so I don't know if they've fixed that yet. I have no clue, but I'm gonna go in visually here. So forget the glide slope, ladies and gentlemen. Forget the glide slope. 500. Just a little bit bumpy here.
Approaching minimums.
Okay. Proceed. Okay. Firm touchdown, but reverses are down. There we go. 80 knots. That off there. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ooh, nearly ran off there, but welcome to Cape Town. Welcome to Cape Town. Okay. Not too bad at all. Okay, let's find ourselves parking. And we'll go ahead and have a look at our landing replay before we mess with anything here. We can put our speed brakes down. Can put the flaps back up. That we can do. I'm not gonna change any of our lights, landing lights, strobe lights, etc. I'm just gonna leave them on for the time being. So yeah, let's just turn ourselves in here next to this Ethiopian 787 that we can see. Brilliant. Let's go in here. There we go. There we go. Hopefully that is good enough of a parking. Let's find out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, on the nose right there. Very, very good. Okay. Welcome to Cape Town International, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and take a look at our landing replay before we do anything else further here. Okay, first landing replay. Let's see how we did. Let's see how we did. Oh, that didn't look that terrible. Okay, that did not look that terrible at all. Okay, all right, let's have a couple more views and then we'll go ahead and shut down our aircraft. Alright, very nice. That looked much worse from the cockpit. So yeah, but it was pretty decent. Okay. Our last landing replay here. Let's see how we did. Okay. All right, we shall now go ahead and shut down our aircraft where we left it at the parking. Good. Okay, welcome back into the cockpit here. Let's go ahead and start our APU. Let's get that running. Forgot to do that after landing, but not a problem. Let's see, our lights here, we can turn off our wing light, we can turn off our logo lights. You know what, we can leave all these lights on, doesn't really matter for now, does it? Strobe lights are off, taxi lights can come off, those are all off, brilliant. Every other light in here can remain on here pretty much. Let's go to our checklist while we wait for the APU here. Let's have a look. APU is powering up right now. It's good to see. Do we have APU available to us just yet? I don't think so. Hydraulic panel, fuel pump, so we can set all of that in a second. Parking brake. Oh, didn't we not set the parking brake? Yes, we did. So we'll tick that off. Fuel controls, switches, cut off. Oh yeah, we need to do that as well, huh? Okay. We'll do that in just a bit. Okay. I think APU is up and running. It should be. It should be. If not, we can always connect to the external power. It's not a big deal, so... Oh, it was already connected. My bad. They're all on. Okay. Let's cut off our switches here. Fuel cutoff. Really cool. Beacon lights off there. We can now turn off our wing lights. Do we really need them? I'm not sure. Anyway, we can turn these off. We can turn those off. We can turn off that. We can... What else can we do here? Turn all of that to off there. We can turn off our fuel pumps. We don't need them. Okay, they're all off. Perfect. APU is running. So this one is probably still providing fuel to the APU there. Seat belts to off. Okay, that's all looking all right here for now. Okay, all of that is set and done. To secure the aircraft, we can turn off emergency lights, packs, and APU, but I'm gonna leave it just like this here today. We're not gonna secure it. We're just gonna leave it exactly like this. Let's go towards GSX, and we shall request deboarding. Thank you. South African Airways? Yeah, sure. There we go. We've got our jetway being attached. Looking good. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed today's flight, because I've had a good time, a blast doing that. And just to recap today's flight, we flew, that's a little nav map there for you. We flew all the way from Germany, Frankfurt in Germany, right here. And we made our way down all the way to the southern end of South Africa in Cape Town, right here. Okay. Eventful flight there. Well, should I say eventful, or rather exhausting flight there, but nonetheless enjoyable, and I hope you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did. Please leave a like, consider subscribing to the channel, and once again, thank you so much for joining me on our fun little flight today. I hope to catch you in the next video and in my live streams. Once again, thank you, and I shall see you soon. Bye bye.